So hopefully you would have seen my other videos in the Disir series. If not, go ahead and see if you can find the introduction to the Disir video, which will give you a bit more of an idea about who the Disir are and what this video is about. But this video is particularly looking at the Disir Circle. And the Disir Circle is something that I use to create a sacred space within ritual and to create a level of protection within ritual, particularly for Seath rites. And I talk about the Disir Circle, I write about it in my book, Seath, the Gate is Open. So you can use this Disir Circle either completely on its own instead of creating a sacred space any other way, or you can use it as part of your creation of a sacred space. So what you would do here is you would use these words basically to designate a sacred space. So you're invoking the Disir to protect you. And we're invoking them in the various forms that people see them. So we're invoking them as warrior women, we're invoking them as our ancestors, as our sisters, grandmothers, daughters. We're invoking them as bear mothers because the bear is protective, but also because the bear was associated with the battlefield within the Norse. So we're invoking them in all these ways. We're asking for them to be a rampart. We're asking them to form almost a line of spiritual bouncers, but we're obviously not using the word spiritual bouncers, although if you wish to, it does describe what they are and what they do really well. So you'll start this basically by walking around the circle, and I walk around the circle 3 times, mostly because it takes 3 times to get all the words I need to get out. But you can do it as many times as you wish. The words specify 3 times we call you up. So the 3 is a important number. Particularly, there are 3 Norns, there are 3 fates, and 3 is quite a special number within the Norse as well. So I would call them up 3 times, and I would walk around the circle 3 times. Now, you can choose when you're calling them up to use your athame, and the athame is just a special knife that represents your will. Or you can choose to use a wand and just kind of designate the space. So sort of walk around, bringing the wand round like this. I have a wooden knife that I use. The wooden knife just means that I'm not using metal, but I fully believe that the Vikings would have loved using metal because metal was their new special tool. It was their new special material that they used. So the Vikings didn't have this link that we have, or that kind of came out around sort of Victorian times, around the fairies not liking iron. I think by Victorian times, iron was a bit like plastic to us today. So iron felt very like blah and not so fun, whereas the Vikings loved iron. So for the Vikings, if you're doing Norse work, I wouldn't worry too much about using metal. I would see it as being a important and sacred material in itself. If you don't want to use or don't have any of those things, you can just use your hand outstretched to just designate that space. Or what I like to do is I like to use a lit incense stick, which then I take round the circle, and then it makes the circle purified with the incense too, but also smells nice, and people can smell it as I'm walking behind them. So here are the words, and hopefully Canva is doing a wonderful job now of taking the background away so that the words are nice and clear. Sisters, mothers, grandmothers, daughters. bear mothers, warrior women, ancestors, those who have gone before us, those who have always been. I call out to you as kin. 3 times I call you up. 3 times encircle our right. 3 times watch over us. Help us to focus. Let nothing into our space that can cause us harm or that we cannot deal with at this time. Sisters, mothers, grandmothers, daughters, 3 times we call to you. 3 times stand tall and firm. 3 times we bid you welcome. And at the end of the rite, you can either simply just say, Disir, the end of the rite is here, or Disir, the rite is over. You can go back to your normal jobs, or you can go round 3 times and say that, or you can say these ending words, which I will put up on the screen now to end this video. Sisters, mothers, grandmothers, daughters, bear mothers, warrior women, ancestors. 3 times we called you up, and 3 times we wind the circle down. 3 times you stand down. We know you are always with us. But for now, this rite is ended and this circle fades. Sisters, mothers, grandmothers, daughters. 3 times we called you up. 3 times we stand you down. 3 times we honour and thank you.